Hey folks, it's the Pod Squad with Wendy Card, yours truly, Jane Maulucci, and Helena Massey will be joining us later on. So thanks for joining us today. It's March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, 2022, and this is episode 211. So
Woohoo!
who are our guests today?
Okay, our guest, Dr. Dawn Baldwin Gibson, our dear friend. Dawn is just a joy, and she has some really important things to share with us from the Pelita Institute for Building Resilient Communities, and a new young man that's going to be joining us, Jarett Alger. So really excited. This is going to be quite a show. And Talina Massey, she's not a guest. She's a member of our Pod Squad. She will be joining us soon.
Excellent.
And yeah, and learn with us as we talk about the people, places, and just great happenings in our town and Newbern and surrounding areas. And if you have something that you want us to mention during the show, uh, say you know about something that's going on this weekend or next week or whenever, um, no, mention it in the comments, and we'll reveal the comments on this screen
There
because
you
this is
go.
a cool
So
thing to
comment
do.
on Facebook if you want to, send a little message to us or tell us something that's exciting that we might not know about. Let us know so that we can get it out to the rest of the world.
Yeah, because it's not about us; it's about our town, and we can't know nobody knows everything. We've got to work together to share information, and we're also on YouTube Live. So for people that don't have Facebook, we're doing streaming live to both, and really, I love this platform. And happy St. Patrick's Day!
Yes, happy
Yay!
St. Patrick's Day. I love your green
Got my
tie.
little tie. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so guess what we have?
What do we have?
We have a question.
A question. Okay.
Yeah,
And
and to be entered to win a prize, you have to answer the question on the live stream during
okay.
the show, and we'll
Okay.
reveal the answer at about 10 minutes till 2.
Okay.
And you know what the prize is? Okay,
Ooh, I'm
I'm
thinking
going
it might be food.
I'm going kind of full screen. I don't like being like, there we go. Ready?
Oh, that's beautiful. Where
Isn't
did
that
that come
pretty?
from?
It's a hot plate. That's by
Gorgeous.
artist Laura Johnson. It's really
Oh,
cool.
sweet.
So
Very nice.
she's really been doing really cool stuff, and that's the prize.
Wow, Laura, gee, I didn't
Yeah,
know that you were an artist. That's fantastic. Another skill that she has.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
I didn't
Renaissance
either.
women. Yes.
Yes. Well, that was, she started, she's always been, had an eye for design and stuff like that, but she picked that up during when the pandemic, as a
Hmm.
way to, you know, relieve stress. And I'm really happy for her. So it's
That's
awesome.
super.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, what's the question? And as much as I want that trivet, I can't answer it. But go ahead, ask the question.
Okay. When was Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point commissioned?
When was Air Station Cherry Point, Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point commissioned? Oh.
What
Ooh.
year?
Ooh. I almost think I know this one, but I can't answer. Somebody else has to answer, and they have to post it on Facebook so that then they can win that gorgeous trivet on St. Patrick's Day.
Yes. Yeah.
Very cool. Very
Very
cool.
cool. And
Wow.
so, what have you been up to, Jane?
Well, we had the Coastal Women's Forum meeting yesterday, the luncheon, and it was at the Flame. It was very cool. And Eileen Nonamaker gave us a talk about how to say no without feeling guilty, without being, cranky about it, and still maintaining your professionalism. And it was a lot of fun to listen to her because she gave some great examples. She was talking about, when you're working and your boss comes over and says, okay, do this. And you're looking at your desk going, but I've got this, that, and the other thing to do. So turn that around, look at your boss and say, okay, I can do this, but which of these falls off my priority list? That way, you've made it clear that you're willing to comply, but that there has to be a give and take somewhere. And that's kind of a neat way to say no. Now, I don't know about you, Wendy, but I am one of those people who frequently has a problem saying no. And I know you're going to think that's funny, but it's true.
No, it's
And
difficult.
I've really had to work on that. So yeah, so there was a really it was a fun exercise, and we had the funniest one that came up was people who are um, asked by their HOAs, you know, and their POAs to serve on the board, and they're like, I've done it for 20 years. Why do I have to keep doing it? But nobody else will do it, you know. So you end up still doing it, but we're practicing. And what was even funnier was right after that, we have our member minute, and you can ask people to volunteer for different things. And so there we are then asking for, oh, you know, the Disabled Veterans of America needs drivers, and people are going, oh, I could help with that.
Yeah.
So there's those times where you still have to say yes, and when it fits in your schedule and you want to say yes, and that's great. But the no, as Eileen said, is a complete sentence, and feel free to use it and take a breath before you use it so that you can at least back off and say, let me think, is this going to work with my schedule? Is this going to work with my priorities? Is this something that's going to be important to me? So there you go. There's your short class on no.
Well, it's important, and I've really struggled with that, but enough is enough. That's what I'm looking at.
Right.
You can't, because if you're out of commission because you're, you know, just so stressed out, you got a major headache or a medical condition or
Yep.
whatever, you just, something's got to give, and it's not going to be you have to
Right.
you know, take a mental break or whatever you want to call it. And but thank you for Eileen is just she's, you know, a
She's great. And
she has some
she's
great
part of
advice.
the Habitat for Humanity. She volunteers there. She's part of the Coastal Women's Forum. She's probably got three other things that she volunteers with, and she's just a really good person. And plus, with her business of coaching people, it's just great. So if you need somebody to help you out, Eileen Nonamaker is the woman to call.
There you go. All right.
All right.
And
So what have
without,
you been up to?
well, I want to get our guests
Oh,
started.
okay.
So, Dawn, you want to give me a thumbs up? What, you're good. Okay. I don't want to
She's ready.
surprise anyone. She's raring to go. Dr. Dawn Baldwin Gibson. There we go.
Hey, hey, Dawn. And you're muted, Dawn, right now. There
Is
we
she
go.
muted?
My husband would probably be quite happy with that, though.
Never give them that ability.
How are you all doing?
Oh my gosh.
We're doing well. We're doing well. Dawn, this is really exciting. Could you please explain to us what the Peloton Ministries are, first of all?
Wow, I'm still learning after 11 years. My husband told me, literally, I came home from church one day and he said the Lord had told him we were going to start a church. And I thought, what? I mean, it was so, I mean, we were very much involved in our local church assembly. And so we were just like, really? And then when I heard the word Peloton, I was like, I never had heard that word before. And so I had to take a moment and try to find what's the etymology of this word and where does it come from biblically? And so it's the Hebrew word for deliverance, like great deliverance. And so it's like this holistic approach to not just like going to church, but like the entire experience of living in community and making the world a better place. And so we started, it's been 11 years, and Wendy will remember literally like, I think it was 6 weeks after the church like kind of started, Hurricane Irene hit us.
Yes.
And that is how we really got involved in this disaster recovery and preparedness work, because people knew Peloton was doing something with all of this work with trying to get back after Irene. And Wendy remembers we were sitting in a church, Christ Episcopal, and we were doing some 8 days of hope. And we had almost 2,000 volunteers. And I kept thinking, is this what we were supposed to be doing? Is this what ministry? But church for us has been all about serving community. And so after we had the Racial Reconciliation Conference back in 2015, I believe it was, and we partnered with the city and Faith Connections and Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance, my husband was preaching and he said, we're going to start a school.
Oh my.
Turned around and Carl Alpock and his wife were in church that Sunday, and I looked like I don't know what he's talking about. So today I'm at this school. You see all the books and stuff behind us, but I came to check in on our scholars today. So we have a church, we have a school, and we have an institute, and we'll talk about one of the programs that we're really excited to share with our community here in Eastern North Carolina.
This is so awesome.
This is so exciting. I love the idea that it's a church of living, not just a church of Sunday. You know, it's not just Sunday church. Yeah, that's super.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and so it's really about, we do a lot of work around food access and employment and education and economics and the environment. I mean, the first thing that God tells us is to be good stewards, take care of the earth. And so it's really about, being whole. What does that mean? And I love that statement you said before I came on. No is a complete sentence. And so we do around mental health and around taking good care of yourself, it's around setting those boundaries so that we can have a space where we can breathe and be able to take care of ourselves.
That's boundaries. Great. Yes, boundaries. And and I don't know if that was for me it really came out during COVID, where it's like, okay, I've really got to reevaluate things. But I should have been doing it a lot longer. I'm old enough to know better, you know what I mean? But have you noticed that with people? Are people coming around? You've dealt with people with disasters, food insecurities. I mean, the whole spectrum. And I don't know if people have any idea the work that you have done, you and your family and your church, the volunteers. You had 8 days of hope come down from Buffalo. We've had people come in from all over the place, and I appreciate you.
It's just about getting in community. My grandfather, my mother's father, was born in 1891, and I often talk about, I know, right? My mother's father, my granddaddy, was born in 1891, and so both of his parents, and I think we talked about this, Wendy, earlier this week, were both slaves, and they really had this very unique experience of what they saw community as and why it was so important. And so my grandfather, who I absolutely adored, he served in World War I, loved his country, loved his community, and really made sure that we as his grandchildren understood it wasn't about, look at me. It was all about serving, and it was about doing what was right. He would always say, your word is your bond, and that the relationships that he had in community, people still come up to me and talk about Mr. Fred. I remember Mr. Fred. And it's because that was his standard, was that, life happens and we have to learn how to process through it, but it doesn't negate our responsibility to taking care of one another, being kind to each other. I mean, I was raised, yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. My scholars, they do it the same, because the expectation is that life is a gift and it comes to us in different ways, but it is a gift. And we should handle it accordingly, and we should help other people see the gift in life.
That's fantastic. You
Amen.
just lit up my whole day. I'll sit and talk to you anytime. This is wonderful. So tell us about this special program that you've got coming up.
Oh my goodness. So we have been working over the last, can you believe that this September will be 4 years since Hurricane Florence hit?
No.
And so with COVID time, I mean, I don't know how to even grapple with it.
Yeah.
But what we realized was that there were a lot of folks that were still trying to survive and rebound from Florence. And, we talk about resilience. And what does that mean? Well, it's not about bouncing back. It really should be about bouncing forward.
Right.
And so this morning we were doing a walkthrough at the convention center, and I turned around and I said, can you believe there were like alligators in here? And and it's amazing to walk in it because it is absolutely beautiful. That area in the back on the view, and you can look out at the water. I mean, it is it is a testament to what resiliency should look like. And so what we thought, we said, hey, look, people are still trying to get through Florence, and now we've had COVID, and there's just been so much impact, not just on individuals, but on community-based organizations, on houses of worship, on local businesses. So how can we bring people together to talk about the funding and resources, because this happens through funding and resources? How do we bring all of this together and say we are stronger together? And so let's come together and work on making Newbern, Eastern North Carolina, the very best that it can be. And so we have on Monday, March the 28th at the Newbern Riverfront Convention Center, starting at 10 o'clock that morning, we are going to have this collaborative. It's not a conference, it's not a convention, it is a collaborative. And the reason why is because we have to talk one to another, not at each other, but we have to talk one to each other. And that's what we're wanting to do that day. And so we have two really very distinguished speakers that are going to start us off that day. One is Mr. Marcus Coleman. I read his title because it's so long, but Director Coleman is the director of the Department of Homeland Security's Center for Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships Office of the FEMA Administrator.
Woohoo!
It's good to have him coming. He's bringing a team with him. They're going to be doing special session at noon that day on public assistance, because now, houses of worship and others can get resources through FEMA. And we want to make sure, as we think June 1st is right around the corner, hurricane season is almost here. What do we need to do proactively to get ready for storms? But what is it that may still be available to help us deal with the past storms? And so we also have Director Reginald Spate, who is the state director for the USDA's rural development. And so he's going to be talking about food access, broadband, housing, community facilities. And so this is just a really great opportunity. And then they're going to do workshops. But at the same time, we have about 40 resource vendors. North Carolina Insurance Commissioner is sending his staff down.
Wow.
Rebuild NC, Laura Hogshead, who is the COO, Chief Operating Officer for the Office of Recovery and Resiliency, will be here that day. And so we are going to get a chance to really think about how do we build resiliency from the ground up, but do it together. And while all of that's happening, we also have a whole health equity center that's going to be going on that day. so people, if they haven't gotten their boosters or they need to get COVID-19 testing, we'll be giving COVID-19 test away. For those that are still wearing masks, they'll have N95 masks, but we will have all of our managed care Medicaid providers on site. We'll have Access East, Biden, Carolina East, the health department, Goshen Medical Center doing free health screenings. We are committed to making sure that not just one part of the person is addressed, but the entire person. And so we are really excited because our community is strong. Craven and beyond is strong. And sometimes when it's so much going on, we miss those points, but we're not going to miss it because we're going to work together and we're going to build these strong systems of infrastructure for resiliency for all of our communities here in our area.
Wow, this is exciting. So who can attend?
Anyone and everyone. The only thing we're asking is that we are hoping that people will get registered because we want to have an accurate number. We realize that people are COVID-19 fatigued. They are over it, done with talking about it. I get it. Back in October, my husband and I had about 5 family members that passed from COVID. So we understand how serious it is. So, you know, somebody said the other day, they said, we want to make sure that we do kind of keep our guard up. So we want to make sure that we, you know, have the numbers and we don't pack it. We want to keep a flow of people coming through the building. And so if you go over to peloton.org, there is a link right there where you can just tap on it, name and email, and hey, you're registered. And hey, and then since we're coming together, we should eat. So the first 300 we have Chef Smoke over at the Flame is doing lunch boxes. And so we're trying to make sure they are going to be beautiful vegetable and produce boxes that are being donated from Kaniti Family Life out in the Edgecombe County area. And for those that know Reverend Richard Joyner, he was a CNN Person of the Year a few years ago. And so we're glad that he's going to be joining us as well as serving those amazing boxes. And I think they're doing 300 of those.
Wow. That's amazing. Dawn, before you go any further, I just want to I'm going to try to screen share, technology here. Let's see. Let me know if you can all, let's see. How do I, wait a second.
So while she's doing that, Dawn,
Sure.
if you're not connected with a church, do you need to be connected with a church organization to participate in this?
Like we always say, everybody. Let them come. That's the way we are. We are just wanting to make sure that whether you're an individual and you say, you know what, I've really been trying to figure out how, see, Wendy Card, she's
Look at her.
She is
Isn't she something? I'm telling you.
And so, yeah, so come on. We want everyone. If you're an individual and you say, I've been struggling with housing, there are going to be people who have housing assistance literally on the spot that day that can do intake. There are going to be people who are going to be doing intake for folks that are needing housing repairs for first or last month's rent. I mean, all of these things, we want to make sure that whoever you are, if you're with the church, not with the church, never been in a church, don't want to go to a church, hey, it is all good. Come on. And so if you're part of a community-based organization or you're just interested in how do we help build strong communities, we want you to be there.
Oh, that's super.
Awesome.
This is just fantastic. I love your energy. I love the concept of this. This is just a wonderful thing. I am one of the people, like so many in Newbern who experienced Florence firsthand. She didn't like my kitchen or my living room. And it was a tough thing. And there are people who are still not completely recovered or rebuilt from Florence. And of course, as you said, COVID is another thing that just kind of hit us right afterwards. So I love the idea that you're gathering all these resources to help our community become better and stronger and vibrant as it is. And this is one of the reasons why I love living here.
Yeah. And Dr. Dawn, she's, if you don't know, she's been doing, you and your team, your husband, your family, and I'm so sorry to hear about your losses. That's horrible. But you've been in this community doing it like boots on the ground for years. So this is not new. But the thing is, I remember during Florence having to go over to there was the Eckerd or whatever the drugstore was, having to wait in line to talk to somebody. And so this is going to help like educate us for in case, touch wood, there's anything in the future. Correct? Is that also a part of that?
Yeah. You know, that I think as much as trying to address what has happened, I did a workshop yesterday morning and the gentleman in front of me who is a pastor out of Pender County, and I told him, I'm not going to plagiarize. You know, my master's is in English, so I was taught, do not plagiarize. So Reverend Simpson said this. He said, repairing is preparing.
Very true.
So
wow.
We need to be repairing as we're preparing. I loved that. But it's important that we think about, you know, God forbid that we get hit by a storm. But the reality of it is, named storms, I mean, look at Carteret County. They took some hits this past weekend. Yeah. So, you know, weather can happen in kind of interesting ways. And so how do we in our community look inward to figure out how do we respond? Because the days of, and I know 8 Days of Hope is amazing. They're still doing, they have one going on right now. They're still doing this amazing work. Steve Tiber and I talk frequently, as much as we can. And so he keeps going, but we might not have that kind of response because of the economy, gas, and all of what we're seeing. But we do have the Volt Center.
Right.
It's doing training. That's why we're so glad Eddie Foster and his team are going to be with us on that Monday. Because why? We need folks to know how to muck and gut houses. We need to know how to, who in our community can do construction, who can, you know, help us help each other. Because not to say people don't want to help, but they might not be able to. So we've got to really be able to look inside and say, who can do what? How can we mobilize to support emergency management and the work that they're doing in our community and our municipalities? How do we work to support that instead of saying, oh, I'm going to wait for somebody else to come? Well, that might be a long boat ride waiting. But if we know how to do it, we know where the boats are. We know who can go in and do rescue. We know who can start repairs. And that's going to move us a whole lot further.
Oh, no doubt. There's no doubt. If we, you know, if you can get the immediate, you know, you have a structure and this is happening, you know, and it's so important that everyone attends that. And I showed it earlier, so if you missed it, the information's on newbernnow.com, and you could also find it, I'm sure, on Peloton Ministries. And we do have a couple of comments here. Our friend Von Lewis, love the positive influence of this speaker. Yes, Von, thank you, and you are a positive influence in our community.
Absolutely, he's another positive force.
Yeah. Him and Abby and their babies. So great energy.
It reminds me of my grandbabies. It makes me happy when I see that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And he was in what? Oh my gosh. The Green Book.
Yes, the Green Book. Right.
Yeah. So that's really good. Awesome. And thank you for the love. Oh, yes. And that's what it's all about, is loving each other and our community. And Dawn, you've always been, I mean, I remember Thea interviewing you in the church, and I had the giggles. I was embarrassed, but I don't know why. I just couldn't stop, you know, laughing. But I think it's because you're positive energy. You're just beam, you know, you really are. And you still do. And
we need to. I tell you, we live in a world when you turn on the news and when you turn on what we see happening around us, we need a sense that hope is still arising.
Mm-hmm.
And every morning that we wake up, it's another opportunity to make the decision whether or not I'm going to be a force for good, or if I'm going to just kind of like hang on in there. And life is too precious. You know, somebody said to me the other day, I think it was my son, he said, "Ma, you are really graying." And I said, "You know what? I really am.
I'm digging it. It looks great."
But I said to him, my dad died when he was 29. He had pancreatic cancer. And I said, if I ever get a chance to gray, and I am going to hold on to it and love it. And so I said, listen, I've earned every one of these. I am going to embrace it and just, I know, right? I'm going to love it. But the key about it is that we have to figure out, you know, how do we exist in this world? It's always been challenges. It's always, every generation has had their challenges.
Mm-hmm.
We are facing some of ours right now, but how will we face them? Will we face them at each other, or will we face them with each other? And I think we should do it together.
Absolutely.
Together we're stronger.
Yes.
And Dawn, you're just awesome. So is there anything else?
I just want to say,
I love you.
We love you. I told you, you are such an important part of the ecosystem, not just the news, and it's so important in this world in which we live. We need people we can trust.
Yep.
And so what you do, it is not just like fly by night. It is the steward of our democracy. It is the steward of what is whole and right and good in our community. So I just want to say to you, Wendy, thank you. Thank you for doing what you do and doing it so beautifully well. And keep on keeping on. It's never easy being a trailblazer, but it is always necessary for those that will come behind you.
Thank you, Dawn. I truly appreciate it. And, you know, hey, I appreciate it. That's all I can say about that. And Vaughn, it is not easy either. No, it's not. But, you know, we got to thank you, Vaughn. Thank you for watching. And Dawn, thank you. We just got to keep on keeping on.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. The event just sounds outstanding, and that's Monday, March 28th. And sign up ahead of time so that they know you're coming and they can get ready for you.
Yes,
please.
Yes, awesome. Thank you for doing this. Yes,
thank you. Have
a great applause.
Woo! Have a great day.
That's fantastic.
Get ready right now.
Whoa!
Hey!
Whoops!
Hey, what's up?
I'm sorry. I didn't give you a heads up.
No, it's okay.
Jarett Huston, right?
Yeah, Houston.
I apologize.
Yes,
Houston.
that's okay.
Okay, and there we go, young man. Or you're a you're a writer. You cover bands. You're a gentle spirit and a kind man. So we're so glad to have you today. And you're not. Let me change that banner there.
I'm glad to be here.
Although, Jarett, you could be part of that organization too, because Dr. Dawn just told us we're all welcome. So let's go.
Ma'am, I heard that.
There you go.
Ma'am.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Jarett, tell us what got you so excited about writing about music, and why do you want to do this? What's going on?
Well, so I've been writing for a few years now. I just had a book come out. It's called Peace Within the Garden. It's just a collection of poems that I worked on the past few years.
Wow.
Currently, I'm working on a second book. It'll probably be a while until it's published, just to let this first book ride out, see how that does. But music has been a very big part of my life. Right now, I'm in my studio at the house, but I just couldn't figure out what to write about Newbern. And I thought to myself, what is a big part of my life that's also in Newbern that I could write about? So it's personal when I write it. And music just popped into my mind. And I know so many people within the music scene because I played at some open mic nights. And it's just nice. I want my interviews to be personal. So when people read them, they feel like they were there. And so I try to choose things that I know to write about, because it just makes it easier, and it makes it easier for people to feel like they're a part of it as well.
So what kind of music are you covering?
I think it just depends. Right now I'm trying to get in touch with Wicked Junction. They're a small band. The singer's Lee. The lead singer's name is Lee. Ricky is the guitarist. They call him Cricket. Usually they play as a duo. They have a drummer and a bassist, but they live out of town, so I can't really get up with them. I had an interview set up with them Sunday, but it's hard to get in touch with them because they're always moving around and they have jobs of their own. But they play jazzy music. They also play country. They cover a wide spectrum of music, but a lot of the bands in Newbern do. They always cover a wide spectrum, which is really nice.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's great about Newbern is the amount of music that we have here of all sorts and genres. It's fantastic. So what you sound like you've been here for a while. Are you a native of Newbern?
Yes, ma'am. I was born and raised.
All right. You should have a special shirt that says that because there aren't a lot of you here.
Really? I always, whenever I go downtown, because I spend the majority of my time downtown, I always just view everyone as a local, even if they're not.
Oh, aren't you sweet? Thank you. Those of us who have moved here, I've been here 11 years now, I appreciate that. I appreciate the welcome.
Well, no matter how long you've been here, I think once you've been here a while, you become a local.
Yeah, you're kind of entrenched, which is a good thing, which is a really good thing. So what's coming new in music to Newbern? Anything?
I haven't heard anything so far. There is an up-and-coming artist named Lexi. She goes by Alessandra. Yeah. She's really good. She has a lot of originals that she plays. She's very talented, and I know her very well. So I have to speak to her. I think I might do an interview on her if I can't get a hold of Wicked Junction. I think she might be first. She's very talented. She works at Surf, Wind, and Fire, actually, during the day.
And what type of music does she prefer?
She plays indie music, indie pop music. Yeah, she's very talented. Sometimes she plays blues, which is interesting. You wouldn't expect that from someone who plays indie music, but she plays blues very well.
Wow.
Nice. Great. This is super.
Yeah.
So, and any given weekend, where do you suggest people go to find music?
I'd say, Freshwater, that new bar that opened across from Tap That, they have a lot of live music there. I think it depends on the weekend. You just have to stay up to date. But Brewery 99 every other Thursday of the month. I think it's the first and the third Thursday. They have open mic night. There's a lot of talented people that come out to play. And then, of course, I don't know if you've heard the Pelican is opening up again. They have a soft opening on April 1st.
Wow, that's awesome. That quick. Yes, I didn't realize that. That's fantastic.
I didn't realize it either. I was at Tonic the other night, and Boomerang was playing. They're also very talented. I saw Charlie. He plays at the Pelican, and he was telling me that they have a soft opening on the 1st.
Is that Charlie Duzan?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I mean, we've really needed someone in our town to really just, get into it, and you're the man to do this, and because there are so many musicians, I know a lot of them, but I really I haven't had the time to get out and I don't at night. I do a lot of my writing and stuff at night. So, but you're you enjoy music. You're more versed in it than I am. I'm an old woman.
You're not old.
This is white hair. It's not
a different
blonde.
Vintage than you are, Jarett.
I'm stuck in the 80s. So,
the best era. In my opinion, I love the 80s. Yes.
But having a talk about local music and supporting the bands, they work regular jobs and they're trying to get their music out, and you're doing it, and however we can help provide a platform for that. That's always our goal, is to connect people with each other. So you're connecting whoever our audience is with the local musicians, and I think I really appreciate it. I'm so glad you joined us.
I appreciate how welcoming you've been, Wendy. It's been amazing. I feel so welcome even on the podcast. It's such a nice environment to be in, even though we've only spoken on email, except for that first time that I saw you at Surf, Wind, and Fire. But you just have such a welcoming vibe. It's very nice.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And but it's so important that we learn about each other, young, older, doesn't matter. That way we can have a stronger community. That's kind of the way I look at it.
Jarett, I think it's great that you're going to be writing about these bands, and that whole idea of explaining, or not necessarily explaining, but showing that, these gigs that they're doing at night aren't necessarily paying the bills, but it could be down the road. And no matter what, these are fantastic artists. We have such a group of artists here, and these artisans are practicing music. And I think we just have such a wonderful opportunity to enjoy their gifts and to have you interpret for us what's going on, what's coming up. I think this is going to be super because Wendy's got a great list going of what's happening all the time, but it'd really be nice to get a little more background on the type of music and a little more backstory on our neighbors who are musicians.
It is. Sometimes it's difficult to track down what bands are playing. I know that the Newbern magazine features a lot of bands within it, but sometimes it's just difficult to figure out who's playing and when they're playing and where as well. And I think music's such an integral part of Newbern. And even just the life that Newbern brings. And I think music really draws in the tourists, but also the locals. And I think it's important to have a platform that you guys have provided me with. Thank you. That shares that with people and lets them know who's playing and what type of music that they play and what life they bring as well.
This is great. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing your articles. I can't wait.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I've really been batting around the idea for a long time about the different licensing. I think there's two major. Is it the ASCAP or I can't remember their names for being able to film musicians. Sorry, my phone's ringing over there. Yeah. And so if anyone is listening out there and you want to sponsor the program to video and put it, we'll publish it on Newbern Now to support the local musicians, artists, then let me know, because that's how they shine, is through writing and recording and helping them, because they are bringing joy to our lives every day, whether we listen to it on Facebook, but to legally, be able to publish it on YouTube or something, we need those licenses. And speaking of
those license fees.
Yes. And speaking of a local musician, Von Lewis, love jazz. It's Lewis and Clark, Abby, his wife, and him. And he hasn't talked to me. Tell him to reach out.
There you go. Talk to Von Lewis, because he's got something exciting coming.
Oh, okay.
I think there might be a big clock standing in front of it. I'm not sure. I won't say anything more. Wink, wink.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, well, for the people who are listening on the radio right now or the podcast and can't see what the comment is, Vaughn says, I'll have a venue for him to cover soon. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Yes, he will. And love Charlie. Duzanne.
Love Charlie.
Actually, more. Okay. ASCAP. Thank you, Vaughn.
Sync license.
Yes.
Okay.
And
my goodness,
BMI. Yeah. BMI was the one I was thinking of. I didn't realize the other ones. Thanks, Vaughn. but
it's his business. He knows.
But if somebody can sponsor that, it's all about the place we live and work and play. Yeah.
Exactly.
So great.
Awesome. Yeah. And Jarett, you're going to be joining us as a member of the Podsquad in the future, right? Maybe for the entire show. Yeah.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
But we really appreciate you joining us today. And actually,
thanks.
Yeah. I'm going to ask a question early, and if there's an answer, and you may know this, Jarett, you may be the winner. So whoever is the let's see, where is the question? The question is, when was Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point commissioned? Wait, now don't answer yet. We're going to give people like a minute to.
Okay.
Well, while I'm waiting for their answers, there's a lot of St. Patrick stuff happening today, and I just wanted to touch on a few of the things. Yes. Unfortunately, you probably missed out on Green Eggs and Kegs, which started at 10 o'clock at Tap That this morning. But it continues on.
Is it on the 19th, or is that today?
I had it as the 17th, but maybe it is the 19th. Yep, it is the 19th. Never mind.
Maybe it's both. I don't know.
Well,
sorry.
Anyhow, no problem. The annual pub crawl starts at 2 o'clock. You've got just minutes to get there. It starts at at Blackbeard's Triple Play. Pirates Cove.
I think that's tomorrow too. I'm so
Is it?
sorry.
No.
Let me look at the.
Okay. All right. Well, one thing I
Okay.
know for sure, the VFW Post 2514 has a St. Patrick's Day dinner. Now they're going to open up their doors at 3:00. Dinner is served at 5, and there's a donation requested to come and have dinner with them. And if you need more information, just contact the VFW, and they are at 3850 Butler Road here in Newbern. And also tonight we've got celebrating African American women through song, leaders in civil rights and women's rights. And this is a virtual presentation. It's at 7 p.m. And so you can jump on this, call 252-639-3515 so that you can get registered for that. What have you got, Wendy?
I'm waiting for my Word document to come up. So 1 minute.
Well, Simon Spalding is going to be at Tap That, and he will be presenting an eclectic program tonight of Irish acoustic music, of course, for St. Patrick's Day. It's fun and it's informal, and it's a St. Patrick's themed show. And Simon shares the history and backstory behind all of his songs and his tunes. And for this mostly Irish show, Simon will play fiddle, octave mandolin, and for an exotic twist, Chinese Urdu.
Ooh.
Who knew? No cover charge. It's a musical event at Tap That 901B on Pollock Street here in Newbern. So
there you go.
Too. All right. What do you got?
Okay,
Wendy?
I got the dates. Okay, the 18th, which is tomorrow, is St. Patrick's Day karaoke style at the Garage. They're located on Highway 70. The 19th is the annual St. Patrick's Day pub crawl starting at noon. Blackbeard's Triple Play, Pirates Cove, the Bruin, Michael's Pub, Beartown Market, Freshwater Beer Company, Tap That, Brewery 99, the Garage, and Brewtopia. So, and then on the 19th is St. Patty's Day huge party at Freshwater Beer Company. They're just like you said, Jarett. They've got lots going on. And the 18th, step back a little bit. The 18th is Arbor Day celebration. Did you say that already, Jane?
Nope, haven't touched the 18th yet.
Okay. Jarett, did you need to jump off, or are you
No, I'm okay
for the conversation?
The next few minutes, I'm okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that covers those St. Patrick's Day hiccups we had there.
I will have to say I was downtown not too long ago. I'd say probably 30 minutes ago. And I love seeing everyone's spirit, their St. Patrick's Day spirit. Everyone's wearing green. I have green nail polish that's falling off my fingers, and I have my green socks on. I won't stand up on the chair, but I have green socks on, believe me.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. And Wendy, I love your tie.
Yeah, pretty fancy.
Jane brought her green in spirit.
Well, I have green eyes, my green shirt. I have green socks on.
Okay.
I'm there. It just looks a little gray.
Yes.
It kind of matches the hair, but yeah. I'm green through and through. I'm half Irish, which is a little scary.
Oh, okay.
That's what Ancestry.com tells me, but who knows?
Yeah. Oh, we got Von Lewis.
Yes, this is big. This is really big. He's got a show this Saturday. Comden and Green, performed by Lewis and Clark, 7:00 at the Bank of the Arts. This is really exciting. And these are such great songs that, Singing in the Rain, Make Someone Happy. These are wonderful, wonderful tunes. This is going to just brighten up your day. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, go to the Bank of the Arts and pick them up, or call them at 252-638-2577. And that is for Saturday night, Lewis and Clark. Woohoo!
I can't believe that's already here. I mean, I remember getting the press release like 2 months ago. It seems like time is just flying by.
Yeah.
One thing I want to mention on the 18th is Prayers for Peace in Ukraine at 5 p.m. at Union Point Park at the Gazebo. And this is sponsored by Christ Episcopal Church. Everyone is welcome. We all have a stake in this. And if you need more information, call 252-633-2109, or just show up at the Gazebo at Union Point Park, 5:00 for tomorrow for prayers for peace in Ukraine.
Yeah. And wait a second here. The Road to Mother.
Mm-hmm.
Jarett, do you like international film?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
There
ma'am.
you go.
Well, you got The Road to Mother, 2019 international film. I'm not sure. Is it the Road to Mother? Or is it like I'm not good at doing them. Yeah, anyway,
yes.
It's at 2:30, 4:15, 7:30, and that's at Craven Community College's Oringer Auditorium, and that's presented by the Lifetime Learning Center. And
very interesting.
it's
normally
a lot of them
by donation. So when you go, just tip them and go in and enjoy a great movie. And I think it's super that they're doing 3 showings now. So that's really
okay.
good.
I always thought they only did the 1 showing, but 3, wow.
Yeah, they used to do 2, and now they're up to 3. So that's super. On the 19th, Newbern High School drill team Pop Rock 2022, 3 o'clock at Newbern High School Gymnasium. This sounds like it's going to be a wild show, and that's $8 at the door, and that's 3 o'clock on Saturday the 19th.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else we got here? Oh my goodness, so many things.
Oops.
Hey, for music, we'll give you a heads up. You've got, a week, more than a week to prepare for this. The Bears Rock and Roll Band and Dinner Buffet starts at 5:30, and this is going to be at Attitudes in my neck of the woods in River Bend. And that's the buffet starts at 5:30. The performance starts at 7. And that's at Attitudes Pub at 32 Shoreline Drive in River Bend. And you need to call for reservations. Talk to Claude at 252-633-2006. And that's on the 26th. That's just so you can plan ahead for next weekend. Because you're going to be exhausted after this weekend. So plan ahead for next week.
Yes. Yes.
Wendy, what else have you got up there?
Let's see what we have. We have...
Well, you've got Simon Spalding again playing on the 19th, and he's doing more St. Patrick's music at Tap That on the 19th.
Yes.
And we've got Artisans Affair 2022, and that's from 3 to 8 p.m. at the Havelock Tourist and Event Center, and that's on Saturday the 19th. And for more information on that, contact them at 252-444-4348.
Yeah, and there's just so much going on, but let's take a quick break and ask the question, the trivia question.
See if we got an answer.
What year was Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point commissioned?
And the drum roll.
Anyone? All right. Do you want to continue with the events, or for a few more
5 minutes left? Sure, we can continue with our events. Come on, somebody has to know that. Let's see. If you don't know something, what do you usually do?
I Google it.
Right.
I Google it.
You Google it. So if you would like to win this wonderful prize, this hand-painted, gorgeous trivet made by Laura Johnson, and the
oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
Pretty.
Yes.
And also bragging rights that you conquered the Podsquad question.
Yes.
Put that answer up there.
We need to give away T-shirts. We need to have T-shirts for that. That would be cool.
You should, Wendy. You should get an air cannon and walk around downtown.
What's that?
Just shoot the T-shirts out. The T-shirt cannons they have the basketball games. This weekend would be perfect. Just go around the bar crawl, and just give out the T-shirts.
Yeah, I need to plan ahead, but that's a great idea. See,
there you go.
And okay, where were we?
Okay, I'm on the 20th now. Bag End will be playing at 3 p.m. at Riverside United Methodist Church, and that's on Avenue A at 405 Avenue A. And then on the 22nd, Saving Site X. That's a presentation at 6:30 p.m. at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, 308 Meadow Street, or virtually on Zoom. So you can go either way. And that's on the 22nd. North Carolina Coastal Land Trust is dedicated to saving special places on our coast. And the Director of Land Protection, Janice Lee Allen, will share how the trust continues to conserve the land. So this is a great opportunity to learn about the environment and how we can help protect it. That's on the 22nd.
Yeah. And then the 24th is our friend Jill Eberly will be doing Little Talks, a lecture on portraiture.
Very good. Portraiture. Easy for us
That's a
to
mouthful.
say.
Yeah.
We can say it, we just can't do it.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. And that's at 6 p.m. at the Back of the Arts. And then the 26th, you got the Pull for Hope, the fire truck pull competition. And that's and open house. Ready. Yeah. You can do that, Jarett?
I don't know. I might have to try my hand at it. We'll see.
There you go.
It's going to be at 8 a.m. at Newbern Fire Rescue Headquarters Station on News Boulevard. And then the big Battlefield Adventure Day is on the 26th.
This is great.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah, at 11:30 a.m. At the Battlefield Park. So
okay, they say that this is kind of a kids event, but it is for kids.
It's for
no matter how old you are.
Yeah.
It's just a really super event that the Historical Society is putting on, and you can learn all kinds of cool things. So if you need to, bring kids with you.
Okay.
But it's just a great event for the whole family, and they've got this super pricing thing where I think that after you've paid for the adults, the kids are pretty much in. So it's really an affordable event for families to attend. So please get that on your calendar, 11:30 at the Newbern Battlefield Park.
Yeah.
And that's a really cool thing. And we talked about the Bears and Winterfest. Oh my gosh, the spring edition of Winterfest is up. And that's going to be on the 26th at Tryon Palace.
Yes.
And of course, they had to delay it a little bit, because that happens. But this is a great opportunity to overeat some great food. And it's at the Tryon Palace, 6:30 on the 26th. For more information on that, call 800-767-1560.
I think I read something about that. I believe the tickets general admission is $50, $55 or $60. So it's not too bad for the food that you can eat.
Oh yeah, it's worth it.
You will eat your weight in food. It's a really
you'll need a nap after.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you meet really cool people there too. So it's a great event. And speaking of events, if you like music events, Jarett, check out Newbern Music Calendar on Facebook. Okay. That's our friend Joanne Friedman. She's a musician herself. Okay. And it's a great resource to help you follow and support local bands.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a labor of love for her, and also the Newbern Farmers Market is this Saturday and every Saturday from 8 to 2, and they're on South Front Street. And for all the events that we're aware of, visit newbernnow.com and check out our calendar. Yes. And let's see.
Is that a wrap?
Oh, wait.
She's great. Calendar is
I think we have a question. Oh, he gave us a.
He said he got some t-shirts. No, I'm not.
Craig, give it to Jarett.
Is it 1941?
I'm pretty. Oh, no. What year was it commissioned? Oh.
I think I know.
Oh, Vaughn tried. Sorry, 1948.
Oh, Vaughn says now 1948.
Okay, then Craig.
1941.
Try again. Then Vaughn. Wait, I'm wrong.
Uh-oh.
There it is. There it is. Yep, that's it.
Ding, 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 ding.
We have a winner. Yay!
And then, okay, we got some comments here. Okay, Vaughn.
Got some losing card shirts you can give away. Okay.
There we go.
Perfect.
Super duper.
Yes.
And the calendar. He's talking about the music calendar. It's
Joanne
awesome.
Friedman is awesome.
Thank you, Vaughn, for endorsing that. That's great.
Yes, Vaughn.
I will say,
yes.
Craig Powell is still arguing.
Well, it was okay. It was built in 1941, and it was commissioned in 1942.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So what were you saying?
So that artist I was telling you about, Lexi Bridgers, this Saturday at Nautical, she's going to be playing from 12 to 2 right in the window.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, cool.
It was supposed to be last weekend, but she moved it to this weekend. Yes, ma'am. So just to get that out there.
Super.
We got to add her to the calendar.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll let her know as well.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, we'll try to get out there and take some pictures but yeah, Jarett, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for being here, Jarett. This is great.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Hopefully next week I'll be on as well if I can.
Yeah, well, we'll get you on the schedule and for the whole show.
Okay.
That way, we'll send you the show notes, but they'll be correct next week.
Okay.
Sorry,
Wendy. They're always correct. We just improvise a little bit sometimes. That's all. So hey, Wendy, is this a wrap?
I think that's a wrap. What do you
Okay.
think, Jarett?
All right.
I think so. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Send your announcements, stories, and/or events, and Wendy will add them to the calendar on Newbern Now's website. Let her know if you'd like to be a guest, or if you have any questions or suggestions, just give her a call at 252-259-6853, or send an email to info@newbernnow.com. Wendy?
Yes, and the Pod Squad will be back on March 24th with Jarett.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
we'll go live at 1:00 to YouTube and Facebook. And you can also listen to the show on Newbern's News Talk radio station, 103.9 FM. Thanks to Mike Afflerbach and Daryl. We really appreciate their support over the years. And Vaughn, lastly.
Thanks, Vaughn.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks for watching, you guys. Thanks for watching, everyone. Jarett, Jane, thank you for joining me. Y'all have a great day and have a great weekend. See you later.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Happy St. Patrick's.
Yeah.